une heure en haut, tranquille tout seul. Ah putain, salaud. Non.
Finland is now the leader of the Europa Cup standings. He finished in third yesterday. Tobias Kastlunga, who was the leader going into yesterday's race, is now a little bit further behind. Now he's 5 points back of Hallberg. Carrick Smith, yesterday's winner, has jumped up to 6th in the Europa Cup standings, and that victory for Carrick Smith has certainly changed the start list around as well. He's now starting 5th and will have a totally different first run compared to yesterday. Let's get a look at our start list. There you see Carrick.
Il repart. Bon, il est fermé, je l'ai fermé. Hein.
Oui, bah oui, c'est fermé. Il y a encore un tour en fait.
Place. So hoping again to drop in with another top 10, maybe even better. And let's hope that we have this solid first run for all of these skiers and we can enjoy the racing. A little bit of high cloud around, but all in all, looking very good for today's race. So Zurbrugge will get the competition underway. He'll be followed on the start list by Nils Vischenbrugge from
Celle-ci là, tu dis là, là, il est passé.
Nous mettre Druck, allez!
So Vischenbrugge yesterday finished in 13th place. That was his lowest Europa Cup finish of the season. Did have a 4th in round 2 in Zinal. Now we'll start to get some splits as well for these skiers. Very quick back across the hill. So super active right now through this midsection, and yeah, this little steeper pitch before the finish, that left footer, and you could be a bit more direct than yesterday, and that's Zwischenbrugge over a second back at the moment. So not the ideal first run from Noel Zwischenbrugge. A lot of work to do. Now Kastlunge was in the lead of the Europa Cup standings after yesterday, before yesterday. Now second after a pair of second places in Zinal for Tobias Kastlunge. He was okay yesterday, still enough to stay in top spot. Finished in 6th place. Skied out of the slalom on the second run in Val d'Isère at the weekend. He'll want to stay at the top of the Europa Cup standings, but he knows he's got a big fight on his hands to do so. Such is the level of talent in the field here. We saw that yesterday. 18 years old, Freddie Carrick-Smith getting the victory. Absolutely stunning performance. And Kastlunge, quarter of a second back. So in touch, but you want to have that lead on the after the first run, don't you? And we've seen a lot of the skiers really feeling it at the bottom of the course. Let's see Kastlunge just losing him. Let's see Kastlunge just losing him there. There he is over the final roller and into the last couple of gates. 0.62, so Zurbrugge stays in top spot. Are we going to see something similar to yesterday? Bib won with the fastest time. Well, there's a few skiers that are going to look to change that. Simon Talacci now for Italy, bib number 4. 5th in the Europa Cup standings and finished in 9th.
Eh bien, poste 1, ça se skie très bien. On reste bien plaqué. Il y a quelques petites baguettes de terrain, mais rien.
Dossard 5 parti, Dossard 6 au départ.
Le Dossard 5 en plus, le Dossard.
It's the enjoyment, the progress. You can see what a great technician he is on the skis, but he knows where to attack. He's got that instinct at 18 years old, and whoever's dying that course needs to get out the way fairly quickly, and they've done that. They're just keeping things in great shape here. But it was the bottom section where Carrick-Smith really unleashed on that second run. 0.38 is okay. It would put him in second place, but we have seen some skiers lose a bit of time. Might have lost a fraction there. Apologies, just losing the shot of Carrick-Smith. Again, late here, but again, taking risk. Having a cleaner course to ski on.
Devant, genou. Vraiment, Jules.
Run, that could be handy. Now, Graal Madsen was in the lead after the first run yesterday. Finished second by 0.02 of a second behind Carrick Smith, who sits in a tie for second. This is going to be really interesting on this first run. If he can get into top spot, he's going to be the man to beat. But 0.42 off of the pace on the top section, so work to do already. It seems to be a real advantage starting bib 1 on the first run, although for Carrick Smith in the second run yesterday, didn't really matter. He didn't go first out of the gate. Still put down the quickest of the second runs. Blow through this section, and you're fighting, recovering for the next sort of 4, 5, 6 gates, and that can put pay to your challenge. And Graal Madsen, he was on one yesterday, but the time today, problematic. 4.58 down. That is not good for Graal Madsen. He's going to be outside of the 30 after that one, so he's going to have big problems on the second run. Rasmus Brekvik now from Norway. Skied out of the second run yesterday, 0.27 behind. That is 5th quickest through the first sector. Do have some extra split times for you compared to what we see on a screen. Can tell you he's really nailed the second section. Yes, he's 0.35 back, but he was the 4th quickest through sector 2, 0.08 of a second back. And you see he's just on it a little more with the line. Oh, now he makes a mistake, similar to Hallberg and Graal Madsen. But he's recovered quicker. Now he's pinching it through this section. And this is very smooth attacking skiing from the Norwegian. He's going to be not too far away at the end of this run. Let's see where Bakovic goes into 4th, 0.59 behind. 900ths of a second behind Carrick Smith and Talaci, who lead. That is not Sandro Zurbrugg. Next to go, it's Stefano Pizzato from Italy. Zurbrugg is the man in the lead from Italy. Zurbrugg is the man in the lead, so ignore that graphic. You can read that. You can read that one, though. Pizzato is the man on. It's really the bottom section where so.
Vraiment, Jules.
Dossard 10 parties, Dossard 11 au départ.
Quickest through sector 2 was Talaci from Italy. He was 0.31 back through sector 1. There's our current top 3. We've got a tie for second. This will be a different test for Carrick Smith, but it will still be on the second run. Much better start number than what he had on run 1 yesterday, if you know what I mean. So when you're trying to find learning experiences, then this is a pretty good one. A totally different challenge. Late starter on the second run of the Europa Cup. And Braken gears, and then Zwischenbrugge about another half a second back in 6th. So the top 5 have put some distance on the rest of the field, and Sandro Zurbrugg has half a second on everyone. Seppi underway now for Italy. 23-year-old finished 25th yesterday. Not the sort of performance that Seppi would have wanted. Went into yesterday's event in 7th in the Europa Cup standings. He's dropped to 9th now. Pretty solid through this midsection, but it's the bottom where that time can be lost. 0.62, that's good enough for 6th place at the moment. He's just got to avoid losing any more time through here, and he's skiing that beautifully, getting on a high line, getting that force onto the ski. And Seppi, although maybe not quite as clean through the final pattern of turns as he would have hoped for, goes into 8th place, and he was running in 0.24 after sector 2, but it's sector 3 where all the time has gone for Seppi. Guillaume Fevre now from France. 25-year-old out of Courchevel, 22nd yesterday. Skier that's been on the World Cup Tour this season, hasn't qualified yet. 0.36 in touch on the opening split. The Frenchman knows the tougher sections of this course are still to come. For me, this is absolute key section where it sets you up for the bottom half of the run.
Allez. Reste parti, 14 au départ.
Ouais. Qui gueulait hier, c'est voir.
And to get it back into race shape, well, great work from everybody in Valloire to do that. Been working on the hill all night. Jonathan just with a couple more turns to negotiate through this section, and the Swiss skier goes into 10th place, 2.25 back. Big time gaps already on this first run. Mikkel Remsoit now from Norway. Been the best of days for the Norwegians so far. Braken in 12th. Gral Madsen in 13th. Out of the 13 finishers we have, Bakevig in 4th, the best after sector 1. Nice to have a bit of sunshine today. That is going to impact maybe on the later starters as we work our way through this field, and certainly for the second run. 1.2 back. And Remsoy, hips just a little back over that roller, and I think that's forced him later in the line through these turns. But he's recovered. And Remsoy now trying to attack on the final few gates, but he goes into 8th place, so time 2.04 off. But position-wise, 8th is all right. Levin Parent now for France. 26 years old out of Le Menuire. 8th place yesterday. Had a good 21st in Copper Mountain at the end of November. The Giant Slalom World Cup Tour. That was from bib 50 as well. Always impressive. I love seeing the high bib numbers get in on the World Cup Tour, score some points. But Parent has got a lot of work to do on this course because he's 0.42 back. You can see that great style he has. You can see that great style he has. Wonderful technician on the skis through this rhythmical section. Very dynamic, clattering into the control gates, running a tight line. But is it going to be rewarded? 0.64. This is the best that we've seen for some time. Gets on the right line through this section. Just a little bounce with that outside ski. Maybe lost them a few hundreds, but he's kept Spain. Impressed with his first run yesterday. Dropped back a fraction on the second run. Ended up finishing in 12th place. He won NORAM in Beaver Creek just last week. Tells you the level that the man from Spain is at. I liked his approach on the first run. Did not hold back. And to be honest, the course is holding up okay. We're on to bib 16, so you can still attack it. You've just got to be smart with where and when you take the risk on the run. Splits have been okay for the Spanish skier, 0.72. To be honest, anything within a second is going to be okay, but you're still going to be a late starter. Pushed low there. Has to recover, generate some big angles through this next section. But we know his style, we know his approach. It's what's brought him NORAM victory. Oh, and he has to dive inside. Doesn't lose too much time there, but living on the edge. 8th place, though. 1.14 back. Samuel Bissig now for Switzerland. 17th out of the gate. 27 years old. Finished 20th yesterday. Man that picked up a medal in Alpine Combined at the 2018 World Junior Championships. So Bissig through this next section, 0.16 back through the first section. It's round about this stage where we see the skiers start.
Dossard 18 parti, Dossard 19 au départ.
Ouais.
the American. Coming on to this final section here. Stand on that left foot, run it out a bit like a Super G arc, and that final gate's just a little further over than you might think. He goes into 9th place. 1.29 back. That's not a bad spot to be attacking from in the final run. Second run. I do a bit of ski jumping work, and in ski jumping they call it the final run, so I do apologize, folks. Eric second fastest of the second runs. Man with so much World Cup experience, he knows if he can put this close, he's going to be in the hunt. 0.67. I'd say anything up to, yeah, I said a second earlier, maybe like 1.2 is going to give you a decent start on the second run. Very smooth, great technical skiing from Eric Reed. Would expect that from a man of his experience. And Reed, 9th place, 1.17. I think he would take that. He really would take that. Might be starting around about 20th on the second run. Gunnlaugsrud now from Norway. He had a big mistake on the first run that really cost him. Strong second run though, was the 8th quickest on the second run yesterday, on his way to finishing down in 17th place. But he was doing a lot of things right on that first run yesterday, just that one big error that took away a lot of the time. Zurbrugg still in top spot, Carrick Smith and Simon Talaci in a tie for second. Get a look at the next split for Gunnlaugsrud. And 0.74, that is good. Gets a little bit airborne, that can push you low in the line, but he recovers very quickly again. Fast edge change from the Norwegian. Taking some risk on this bottom section. .1:14.03, the time of Zurbrugg from Norway. Strong Norwegian contingent here, but they're not having it all their own way today. 23rd after the 23 years old yesterday, didn't finish the first run. So Giskas hoping to go a little bit better than yesterday, that's for sure. Just get down this run, get into the second run, put it all down to experience. Another valuable day at the office. 1.54 for some of these skiers starting at this stage. It is about staying in the 30. Oh, huge error from the Norwegian. The damage is done. And is he going to stay in the 30? That is key. Hans Graal Madsen down in 20th, 4.58 back. Oh no, massive crash from Giskas through the B netting. Huge fall, and the final turn, the penultimate gate. I was a little worried. We saw our friend from Spain, Ober Sercanta, have an issue and Giskas on his feet. That is really good to see. The B netting, well, it slowed him down, that's for sure, but he did come through it. And a DNF for the Norwegian on the first run, like yesterday, but importantly, on his feet, and let's hope he's all okay. It's almost super G arc. You're on that left foot. And the skier's just having to work round into that last couple of gates. It's catching a few skiers out. It caught out Giskas. Drukarov will be next to go from Lithuania. Lithuanian yesterday. Had a good first run. So Giskas seems to be okay, just making his way away from the course. He finished Drukarov in 23rd yesterday. So just a small delay whilst everything is repaired. And of course we check on the condition of the Norwegian. Drukarov, 26-year-old, waiting to get started. Been on the World Cup tour, really focusing on GS. Hasn't qualified this season, but does have a few point scores in his career. And 3 times he's been in scores in his career. And 3 times he's been in the 30. Last of those occasions was in Alta Badia in 2023, a couple of years ago. There is Giskas. No doubt will have felt that one. But hopefully he is okay. Get any replays yesterday, so thank you very much. Just getting it all wrong. It's a high-speed section of the course. Drukarov has been given the okay. We're going to get this race back underway. Winter Olympian 2018 Pyeongchang Games. Was at the Youth Olympics in 2018. Finished 27th in the giant slalom on the day that River Radamus took the victory. He's gone on to good things, and I don't know what you think, but River Radamus, for me, has gone up a level this season. Looking forward to watching him at the weekend as well. And Drukarov gets underway. So after a small delay, we are back racing again. And whilst we don't want any delays, of course, it probably meant that the course was able to be slipped. So it could be in better condition than it would have been otherwise. For the Lithuanian, that is not the sort of entry into this pitch that you need. And he's lost a lot of time coming into this section, so Drukarov has got it all to do for the second half of this race course. He's recovered well, to be fair to him. And Drukarov, another one down. So no finish today for our friend from Lithuania.
gars, s'il vous plaît, on enlève tous les skis qui sont ici, on pousse tout au fond ou derrière les filets.
And focus on the next race, whatever that race will be for Armin Dornauer. 27-year-old Livio Simone from Lenzerheide. 31st yesterday. Started the Europa Cup tour with a 15th in Zinal. Skied out the second day. So for Livio Simone, today, get in the 30. That is the task for him.
Je trouve que la tension elle est plus qu'hier là, tu vois.
31st yesterday. Again, just on a little delay and
Off kids, come on. Allez, Livio.
Parti. 25 au départ.
Ouais, mais plus là-bas à droite. Ouais, parce que là, on est dans la ligne de côte.
skiers didn't really have any issues, but bib 21, 22, 23, 24, all struggling. So Simone will not be in the 30 today. He will be out of the race and can either pack up and go home or on to the next race or watch his teammates. Nick Sporty now from Switzerland. 25th out of the gate, finished 21st yesterday. He's been solid on...
Dossard 26 parti, Dossard 27 au départ.
On the second run did Kenny in yesterday's race. 28 years old. A man that's been all over on the tours. He's got one NORAM victory. Best of 4th coming last season on the Europa Cup Tour. And Kenny out as well. So we've had 5 skiers finish that failed to finish on this first run. All net next up for France. 16th yesterday, coming off the back of an 11th in slalom in Val. So all sorts was going on Sunday in Val d'Isère. But for Alnet, he's got to forget about that now. Focus on the task at hand, which is as good a first run as he can manage. 0.33 is respectable on the opening split. So many of these skiers having some issues, particularly through from here on out, really. This is where Patrick Kenny came out of the race. And Alnet making a good job of it. He's really focusing on the line, isn't he? 0.92, okay. Skiing it cleanly, smoothly, tactically very smart. Pinches that one. That delay is tricky, really clattering into the control gate. And Alnet, a little bit sideways coming in, but focusing on getting a finish. And he finishes well, 12th place, 1.53. Probably sees the time gap and is like, what? But actually, in the context of this first run, that is useful. Nash Hua Marchand now from France. 30th place for him yesterday. 30th place for him yesterday. Was 42nd after the first run. Really improved on that second run, did the Frenchman. 27th quickest on the second run. Big error there from Hua Marchand. Don't want to be outside of the 30 after the first run, and maybe with a few of these DNFs that is going to help. It's certainly helping Graal Madsen. I was worried that he was not going to make the 30, but 4.58, still quite a lot back, and Hua Marchand goes into 22nd place, 3.93 back. We've seen the error at the top of the run. That was very costly. Now Adam Hofstede. Strong first run from Adam Hofstede from yesterday, bib 21, today bib 29. He went into 18th place, but he was all over the place on the second run. And that was costly for Adam Hofstede. Ended up finishing in 26th place. He'll be looking at just keep it clean. He took too many risks on that second run yesterday, from up to my eyes. Little error there, but that's more down to the snow conditions than anything else for Hofstede. A man with great success at the Youth Olympic Games in 2020. You can see the stance being affected by the snow as well. It's pretty soft in there. 1.36. Quick edge change needed here. That's what we see from Hofstede through the delay. Sets up beautifully for this next section. Well, he's really on the line down here, but the time just disappears, doesn't it? These skiers not doing a lot wrong. And Hofstede into 20th, 2.61 back. Well, he's going to be a reasonably early starter on the second run. Reto Nekler now for Switzerland, bib 30. Finished 38th yesterday. There's an opportunity today to go better than that. Opportunity to start early on the second run. About 4.58 with the talent still to come. The likes of Christian Borgnes, Louis Mühlenschult, George Steffi on the start list. Don't know if he's starting. Isaiah Nelson as well. Some good skiers, and that's a mistake there from Mechler. He's been going okay. Mechler from Switzerland, last of the top 30 on the start list. Carry some good speed through that section. Standing on that outside ski into 12th from bib 30, 1.49 back. Very, very respectable from Mechler. Borgnes already underway. The start intervals have, of course, shortened after the top 30. Borgnes, well, yesterday, coming out on the second run. And we've seen a few times in the top 30 on the World Cup Tour. Sandro Zurbrugg still our leader. That's not going to change now. Carrick Smith in second, along with Simon Talacci from Italy, both half a second back. And Christian Borgnes into 25th place, 4.12, a long way back. But for the man in 26th, Kral Madsen, he drops another spot. It's not looking likely that he is going to hold on to top 30. The mistakes that he had. Louis Mühlenschult from Australia, another that put down an impressive first run yesterday. That is a nasty one. The 27-year-old Australian finished 19th. Oh, that is not good to see. Holding. So unfortunately, big fall there from Louis Mühlenschult from Australia. Never want to see that. Such is the load that these skiers put on the skis, the forces. Can ping out and release, and if that is at the wrong angle, then there can be problems. I really feel for Louis Mühlenschult there, and nobody's with him. Come on, guys, somebody get to him, please. He's in a real bother. I know you're not listening to me, but we know there's been a fault. Somebody should be getting to Louis Mühlenschult, and very, very quickly. He's clearly in some discomfort. I'm sure the team on the hill are on the radio. It's not a. He's been down there for maybe a couple of minutes now. While those skiers at the bottom just looking at the timing board. They might even have the live stream there, so everyone aware that Mühlenschult has had a fall. He was absolutely going some as well. He was, again, another impressive looking run from the Australian. That's so difficult when at this level skiers are taking so much risk. Mühlenschult, much risk. Mühlenschult, 27 years old, been to the Winter Olympics in Beijing, finished 23rd in the giant slalom. Well, looking out over the town of Valloire. Two main ski areas that can be reached from the village, Setaz and the Cré de Croix. And from the Cré de Croix you can go across to Valmenier, which is in the
Mais toujours pas levé là.
Donc là, vous allez reprendre des images. Vous aurez des images en partant traîneau. Et Damien, après, une fois je te dirai quand on est repris en français et on passe au classement général. Ouais, et je te passerai le replay. Ouais, et tu me passeras le replay, ouais. Et il y aura...
Nobody at the top, so long delay whilst getting controllers back into position. So Louis Mullenschild being attended to here. We'll take our time, of course. 32, we're going to see it again over the roller, just hips back a little, has to try and get on that right foot quickly into the gate. Ski loads up. So this is how it looks at the moment. Sandro Zurbrugg first out of the gate, 1:14.03. Nobody was able to get within half a second of that. Freddie Carrick-Smith and Simon Talachi in a tie for second, half a second off the pace. Bakkevik from Norway in fourth, and Tobias Kastlunga from Italy in sixth. A tie for second, down really to fifth. So there's four skiers, all within a 12th of a second of each other. So the fight is on for the podium. Zurbrugg is going to be last to go on the second run. Eric Reed from bib 19 into ninth, 1.17 off of the pace, taking advantage of that improving start number in Europa Cup Giant Slalom after the impressive fourth place finish yesterday. 26th have made it down. Graal Madsen, man, of course, that finished second yesterday, 200ths of a second back. Well, he's not going to finish second today. Some mistakes in the run. He's down in 26th, a long way back and unlikely to make it into the second. Well, he will be in the second run, but he's going to be going outside of the 30 on that second run. That is the scene at the start. Everyone just waiting for the green light on the course here. The Europa Cup Tour.
Damien, tu m'entends? Oui. Ouais, il y a BFM qui dit qu'ils ne reçoivent pas en 3-4 le signal inter. Pour ça, je sais pas, apparemment on leur envoie 1-2, on leur envoie le français.
Ouais, c'est ça. Bah, de toute façon, c'est ce que j'ai dit à BFM hier. Nous, on n'a pas 4 pistes. On a que 2 pistes. Et eux, comme ils prennent le flux français, bah, ils ont que les commentaires français.
Ah oui, d'accord, donc c'est normal. Et ça, c'était déjà le cas hier.
Ouais. Et en fait, s'ils veulent bah, le flux inter...
Weather might be coming. Well, it changed yesterday, didn't it?
Il faut qu'il y ait un autre spécial.
Overcast, a bit of snow. To be honest, the next few days, great for this time of year. Expecting sunshine tomorrow, maybe on Friday. Temperatures in the valley here in Valloire about 4 degrees, but possibly some snow overnight. Same into Saturday and Sunday, and then next week, sun, cloud, but it does get a little bit colder. And to be honest, right through Schultz from Australia, really nasty crash. We hope all is okay with him, and he gets the treatment and support needed. We will wait it out, of course. I'm not going anywhere. Take as much time as you need. Really taking their time here, and that is important. Not to rush in a situation like this. The women are in Europa Cup action today as well. Downhill over in St. Moritz. They had their training yesterday. And that race just getting underway. Get a look for you again at the current standings. 76 skiers on that start list over in St. Moritz for the women's downhill. First women's speed events on the Europa Cup Tour of the season. Of course, the Alpine World Cup Tour was in St. Moritz at the weekend. I'm sure you all know what happened by now, but it was pretty impressive, wasn't it? In that first women's downhill, and the second as well. Next, Europa Cup action for the men, just a couple of days' time on Friday. They're in Oberhagen for a slalom. The women have 2 slaloms as well in Arntal. Men are back a day later on the 20th in Val di Fassa. Then a break. A couple more GSs for the women in Sestria. Start to just go a bit wild, a little bit old school. I love it, personally. And the views aren't bad either, are they? It is my favourite downhill of the season, but that's because I spent a lot of time skiing in that part of the world, up in Grindelwald and Wengen. First World Cup race I was ever at, actually. Coaching in ski cross was in Grindelwald, which was a nice nice moment for me. And actually taught my son to ski up in Mannlichen in between Grindelwald and Wengen last year. So that place has a lot of special memories for me. We'll hopefully be bringing you as much Europa Cup coverage as we can throughout this season. I know there should be coverage of the women's slaloms on the 19th and 20th, which is Friday and Saturday, if I've done the dates right. And much of it is, of course, down to the local organisers. It costs a lot of money to put a live stream together, and it's not easy to do, to cover a whole hill like this. So even if the cameras don't always show the skiers as close as we would like, think about how much it might cost to put this on. Any coverage at all is greatly received. I know it just gives everyone a chance to spot the next generation. Some of the previous generation as well, still trying to battle away and battle back to former glories.
Ils sont pas encore partis, je vous dis quand ils partent. Ils sont pas encore partis, je vous dis quand ils partent.
When you think about the infrastructure needed to put a live stream together and the costs involved, the people involved, fantastic job done by the crew here in Valloire. Did you know Valloire hosted a stage? Hosted the finish of a stage. It was the 4th stage of the 2024 Tour de France. You can tell we're on a delay. Start digging through the research. want to take on any more food. Personal preference, peanut butter sandwich for me. Cup of tea, maybe a sweet or two. Tell I'm not a ski racer. Kato did finish 33rd in yesterday's race. He has been on the World Cup tour up until yesterday. Solden, Copper, Beaver Creek, Val d'Isère hasn't qualified yet. The 27-year-old. He's ranked 41st in the world in giant slalom. A couple of scores in parallel back in the day as well. Our friend from Japan picked up those great FIS points on home soil in Japan, and then Far East Cup in GS back in 2019. Of course, the points have changed a little bit now, haven't they? But sub 10 back in 2019 in slalom and GS tells you how strong a skier he is. Won Australia-New Zealand Cup in Coronet Peak, New Zealand back in September. That is where he got 15 points, and very good race down there as well. Tight race. So Saito from Japan next in the start gate as Mühlenschult is in the finish area with the medical team. There might just be a few more minutes of delay whilst everything is put back where it needs to be and everyone's in position. We'll get back underway with the racing as soon as possible. Hopefully get through the last group of skiers without any issues. This is a tough sport though, isn't it, folks? Things can go wrong very, very quickly. The consequences are there. And all of these skiers, of course, know that. They know things can happen. They put themselves on the line, take a lot of risk, not just in competition, but in training as well. And we all know, I'm sure, the sad situations that have happened over the years in this sport. So just much respect to everybody out there putting themselves on the line for the sport that they love. Sport that we all love as well. It is a truly beautiful sport. There is not much like it, is it? The visuals that we get. I remember back in the day, just even on bad days on the hill where I was... One thing with the kids that I would be working with was always say, firstly, take your own rubbish back. The amount of times I was in the start area at the end of the race and you'd see water bottles, wrappers, and we always said to the youngsters, don't just take your own rubbish. Take everything. Let's leave this mountain in a better state than we found it. And I was always on at organisers for team captains meetings. The rubbish yesterday was embarrassing. Please remind everybody, if you see something, pick it up. Protect our natural environment. Because if we don't, we're going to lose it. Well, we got a forerunner there. We may send a forerunner down. I don't have any information on that for you, but potentially a forerunner will go before, due to the length of delay that we have had here. There's the current situation. Zurbrugg, nobody's going to go ahead of him now. He will be last to go. And for Freddie Carrick-Smith, a different situation than what he faced yesterday. Carrick-Smith, the winner of yesterday's race, after the first run, was in 21st place. Climbed 20 spots on the second run, so that, and still set the fastest second run time. So that situation, he will be 29th to go on the second run. So the course is going to be very, very different. We are going to have a forerunner here, and that's a good call. It's usually the situation. It just allows everyone to sharpen up again, everyone to ensure we're in position, gives a little bit of time, make sure medical teams, ski patrollers are back, all in position, that the timing is working. Just gives everyone that chance to sharpen up and be ready to go.
Son prod partira juste après.
Hey!
34 en piste. Number 34 en course.
We shall see. So back underway with the racing here in Valloire. Kato from Japan. Bib 33. Gets moving. He'll be followed by Tiziano Gravier from Argentina. The start intervals, of course, shortened for this later group of skiers. Kato from Japan.
Dossard 35 parties, Dossard 30.
Won't we? And Dominic Ott. And he's just got low in the line there, out of the course, a DNF for the Swiss skier. Leo Beraldi underway now for France, or about to get underway. Well, he is underway, but we're just going to have a look back at the start of Thomas Lardon now. So he's pulling out of the gate. Leo Beraldi on course. We should pick up Beraldi, the 21-year-old from Le Duzal. Now, place 2.08. That is good from Bib at 36. He will take that, that's for sure. And you just never know after what we've seen yesterday. Catching up with Lardon. Very good second sector from Lardon. If he can hold this, this is going to be a decent run from the Frenchman. Lardon approaching the finish. It's been a really attacking run from the Frenchman from Bib 37. He's going to like this one into 14th, 1.66. That is how to do it from Bib 37. Graal Madsen now down in 30th. Yesterday's second place finisher. Well done, Thomas Lardon. Joel Lutolf now for Switzerland, 2.09 back at this stage. Would be outside of the 30. It all depends on the final few gates for the Swiss skier. Is he going to push Graal Madsen out? It's looking likely that he will. And the Swiss skier goes into 30th place, so Graal Madsen's real outside hope of maybe holding on to 30 have gone. They are getting a little closer in terms of time to him, but he will be a late starter on the second run. Hannes Zingerle now from Italy. Another DNS for George Staffy from the USA. Zingeli, a 30-year-old skier, a man that we've seen on the World Cup Tour, best of 13. That one. Isaiah Nelson on course for the USA. Here he is, 1.83 back. Here he is, 1.83 back at the moment, and coming off the back of an exceptional few races on the NORAM Tour, winner in Beaver Creek last week. DNF as well, won Super G, both Super Gs in Beaver Creek. Isaiah Nelson, but struggling a little on the Europa Cup Tour. And Nelson, 3.17 back, 29th place for him. Christian Borgnes outside of the 30 as well. Zucchini, Opdal in GS. Splits have been pretty good for Zucchini on the top section. Losing a little bit of time on the bottom and goes into 29th, 3.05. We've seen from Recchioni into 7th place, so times are there if you go out and ski it. Cooper Puckett has started from the USA, part of the famous Puckett family out of Steamboat Springs. Made his World Cup debut last season. Scored World Cup points in Levy. 26th place in the slalom in Levy from bib 69. Love to see it, don't you? Unfortunately for Cooper Puckett, it is a DNF today. Just getting that word through. Turo Torvinen from Finland is on course now. A lot of DNFs today in this first run of the GS. It's a tough course set as we look at the current standings. Eric Reed in 10th, watch out for him on the second run. Eric Reed in 10th, watch out for him on the second run. We know how strong he was yesterday. So Torvinen is moving. 0.70 off the pace at the first split. Might just be some batteries being changed. We're going to take a look at the best of Valloire. Don't forget the second run due to get underway 1 p.m.
contenders here. Little error, 5 from home, but that is our new leader. And the target time is dropped considerably. She's shooting for the podium here, and she just grabs third position, 0.53.
Valloire respire le ski de compétition. On a une piste, la Cétase, là, qui est vraiment exceptionnelle, qui est digne d'une des plus grandes pistes de Coupe du Monde en géant.